etc. But do you think that there might be a change in terms of our perception of individuals since this happened?
I think on a national level there's going to be some debate on the issue of separation of race and class, and that's fine. But I think more importantly, the individuals that are affected directly by it have to have their own dialogue and have to come up with their own resolution and have to take a more responsible role in addressing those issues. One thing in particular I noticed is that there were a lot of young black males who were actually doing the raping and doing the looting and shooting and having conflict with the authorities and so forth. And it's interesting that over the years, our young males have learned that whenever they have a stressful issue, the only way to respond is out of violence, because violence is the only answer that they've ever learned to deal with. One of the things they need to learn is how to process certain circumstances such that they learn how to deal with them in a way that is going to be beneficial to them and not cause more destruction or more mayhem. And so I think that's one of the key things. I believe that in any city in America, if a catastrophe of that nature were to happen, our young men must be prepared to not add to the problem, but to be willing participants to solving the problem based off of information and understanding and knowledge.
And you believe that you have in this seminar so constructed and so tested in a real sense, because I think that you've been really working with this program, not only in this program, but also building families and communities and et cetera. And so this has been almost a life work with you.
Right.
And so you finally think that you have the kind of the program that's necessary to reach out and deal with it.
I'm not naive enough to believe that I have a cure-all, but I certainly believe that we have a foundation for building on the right type of dialogue and structure. And that's the key to having the participants come up with their own answers to their own problems.
Well, do you have any job kind of things associated with this program? Or is there anything that you can say in terms, because in many instances, what many of these young people need is some kind of job opportunities and et cetera.
Sure, and I think it's key to focus on job opportunities as a stepping stone to entrepreneurial development. Because quite often, it's easy to put a young man on a job, but the question is, how long will he stay, and what will be the factors that determine how long he stays? If he's in a position where he's owning something, he's making a contribution to the economic infrastructure of the country, he feels a lot better about himself. So certainly working a job until such time as you can develop the skills and the knowledge to become an entrepreneur. And I think that's a focus that's missing quite often in our outreach to challenged and disadvantaged populations, as this one that we're talking about.
Very good. And of course, Reverend Dockery, we have about 2 minutes before we end the show for today. And we want to use the last couple of minutes that we have here to give you an opportunity to make a special kind of appeal to whoever you wish to make that appeal in reference to what you're trying to do, because I think you have already demonstrated that there's a tremendous need for what you're doing.
All right. Well, let me just start by saying I could be reached at 3738 Hydes Ferry Road, Nashville, Tennessee, 37218. Phone number 615-256-7886. That is the office number. And I invite any sponsors in particular to give us a call, and we can answer any questions they might have more specifically about what we're doing. 615-256-7886. That's 3738 Hydes Ferry Road, Nashville, Tennessee, 37218. And that's the home of both Mount Sinai Cumberland Presbyterian Church, as well as Building Families and Communities Missions Incorporated.
And so you think you're ready, Reverend Dockery, to handle the outgrowth of such a program?
Absolutely.
You think that there's a time and that we're ready for such a program, and you think that you have, you don't have the cure-all, as you said.
No, but
you've got something that can push us quite a way down the road.
A foundation.
Foundation. And I think that's what we need more than anything. I think that if we can find a number of individuals with programs that have that kind of foundation, then I think that we will certainly be fortunate, and I think we will be able to handle and deal with some of the problems that we have. And so, Reverend Dockery, let me thank you over the last few minutes that we have here.
Thank you for having me.
For coming by and giving us that excellent information, and I'm sure that in the end, it will have a tremendous impact upon our audience as well as others. And I certainly want to thank you. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Cummings. Thank you, and good morning.
You work for the government, right? Can you tell me how to get student loans for the kids here?